Robin revels in a delicious history of Chicago music. He combines blues, jazz, country, Latin music with fingerstyle guitar to create a playground for his lyrical musings on science, animals, and the whole scope of human experience. His songs are poetic, comical, and educational. A flow of images ranging from vampires, insects, dinosaurs, dodo birds, work, and romance. But as the late-night TV commercials proclaim, but wait, there's more, which you're about to experience. Please welcome Robin Bienemann.
It's hard to express to you how special it is for a Chicagoan to get introduced by Rich Warren. Rich Warren owned the radio airways on Saturday nights for decades and decades, and we're his biggest fans. Inspired by Rich's low, sexy voice, we've prepared a suite of 3 love songs, kind of on different orientations. This first one, so this is my smoking hot wife, Jenny. She's going to be singing with me. So people see us being all, having a successful marriage, and they say, what do you do for that successful marriage? And, before we get into the romantic stuff, there's a technical detail about having a successful marriage, which is you got to get married, and that's the detail that this song focuses on. Loves a man, well, there ain't no shame. Well, it's pretty much like when a guy loves a dame, except the parties involved have the same equipment. Well, aside from that, it's not very different. In fact, it's almost exactly the same, and it's a good thing. More love in the world is a good thing. The more you bring, the more we get to sing about it. Who's to say who shouldn't and should? More love in the world is good. And when a lady loves a lady, well, that's totally fine. You see, sex can be flexible by design, and it's a beautiful thing when adults come together romantically. And it don't matter whether they're of the same gender, if they're of the same mind, it's a good thing. More love in the world is a good thing. The more you bring, the more we get to sing about it. Who's to say who shouldn't and should? More love in the world is good. And when a man sees a man, I can't help but imagine him stripped to his blue jeans, bare chest and abdomen. Or when a woman fancies a pretty girl, the nape of her neck so perfectly vertical, her hips so round, you can imagine her hands on them. A good thing. More love in the world is a good thing. The more you bring, the more we get to sing about it. Who's to say who shouldn't and should? More love in the world is good. More love in the world is love in the world is love in the world is good. More love in the world is love in the world is love in the world is good. More love in the world is love in the world is love in the world is good. More love in the world is love in the world is love in the world is good. We shall spend our lives in passion and romance. We mustn't squander these passing moments. And let's welcome these couples into family life. A husband with husband and wife with wife. In sickness and health and with shared insurance. It's a good thing. More love in the world, it's a good thing. The more you bring, the more we get to sing about it. Who's to say who shouldn't and should? More love in the world is good. And before you say gays have gone too far, well, consider how messed up some heteros are. Ready to get dressed up like boys and girls and then shoot at each other with poison arrows from opposite sides of the family car. Now it's a good thing. More love in the world is a good thing. The more you bring, the more we get to sing about it. Who's to say who shouldn't and should? More love in the world is good. Well, you might not be used to a dude with another dude, but it's cool if they're in love with each other. Well, who's to judge if their love rings true? If they happen to be among the fortunate few whose affections can make each other's hearts flutter, it's a good thing. More love in the world is a good thing. The more you bring, the more we get to sing about it. Who's to say who shouldn't and should? More love in the world is good. More love in the world is love in the world. world, there's love in the world is good. More love in the world, there's love in the world, there's love in the world is good. More love in the world, there's love in the world, there's love in the world is good. More love in the world, there's love in the world, there's love in the world is good. More love in the world, there's love in the world, love in the world is good. More love in the world, there's love in the world, there's love in the world is good. So this is another love song of a different type, and I don't want to get all conspiratorial, but I'll just say that when that COVID thing came around, our cat, Tristan at the time, immediately and completely attained what was basically his only ambition ever, which was for us to be home alone with him every single day, all day long. And so this is a song that Tristan and I wrote together, a little love song to each other. By a different name every day. Well, I like to keep him on his toes and his laziness at bay. Someday we'll find one that he knows, and he'll turn to me and say, these sounds that come out of my mouth and from my tongue, I have nothing to do with what I think about all day long. Oh, why don't you stay home from work today? Why don't you sit in your favorite chair and play my favorite song? That's what I think about all day long. Why don't you rub it gently under my chin again and again? Why don't you run your hands through my hair? That's what I think about all day long. That's what I think about all day long. Why leave my cat with the radio on every day? Well, I like to keep him well informed, so his mind will never stray. Turn to me and say, these sounds that come out of my mouth and from my tongue, I have nothing to do with what I think about all day long. Oh, why don't you stay home from work today? No one at work will even care or notice if you are gone. That's what I think about all day long. Well, I know what's best for you and where you belong. Why don't you just stay here? That's what I think about all day long. That's what I think about all day long. love song for you. This one's has a little more of a neurological bent. And if I were an outsider and I was dropping down and observing the humans, especially their imagery, you would think that from that imagery that most of our romantic life takes place in the front of our bodies. And it's not true. There's actually a very important part. Actually, your biggest sex organ is your brain, which you can't even see. And there's an erotic power center. It's right there at the base of the bottom of your skull there. It's called the amygdala, which is fun to say. It's also fun to touch. You can touch your own. If you're going to touch somebody else's, you got to get explicit permission, but I'm just telling you, it's right there. It's very pleasurable to touch, I'll just tell you that. So, Jenny is here not so much to make me sound better, but to help you find your part. This is a song you can sing along with. Here we go, this is your part. Sing it with me now. Chicks, they get big on amygdala. Chicks, they get big on amygdala. Chicks, they get big on amygdala. Well, men tend to measure the bodies and compare, but there's only one part that a woman even cares about. It's not what you think, though. It's up where you think, and it shows that you're prepared to help out and share. Where the larger the amygdala contained in your brain, the likelier it is that you will help a stranger. The length of it combined with the circumference makes a difference. It's an indication of your generous behavior. I don't think about the size of my equipment or my bank account, which is non-existent. No need to be rich like Rockefeller, big fella. Chicks dig a big amygdala. Chicks dig a big amygdala. Chicks dig a big amygdala. If yours is small, well, chances are you got a triple large ego with an egg like a stick figure. Chicks dig a big amygdala. 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 Well, a girl who understands both science and romance knows that she can know about a man in advance. Could be magnanimous or a psychopath, and if his amygdala is big enough, she'll give him a chance. I had always understood that the measure of my body parts does not contribute to the pleasure of my partner, but now the amygdala is the figure in the formula. It's better if it's fatter, so surprise. Size matters. Now, check for the memo in case you missed it. See, a chick wants to know that you are altruistic, and there's a perfect metric to signal her. Chicks dig a big amygdala. Chicks dig a big amygdala. Chicks dig a big amygdala. If yours is small, well, chances are you're an appalling thug like Hitler or Caligula. Big amygdala.